So, okay, so for those who do want to take this yoga class on Instagram, I'm going to end it quick and then I'm going to restart it, okay? Alrighty. There we go. Got one person in here in the YouTube participants. Good. Just want to make sure that you can hear me. So if you can hear me, go ahead and type, yeah, girl, I can hear you. We're all good. Alrighty. Good. All right. Yeah, you're back. Hello. Good. So just taking another moment here while other participants are coming into class. Looks like the numbers are kind of piling up here. So if you are coming to do some yoga stuff, you go ahead and grab a pillow, a block. Essentially, it's going to be used as the same thing, just whatever you have available at your own house. You can bring in a strap. We had this for the class before, but dog started freaking out at the wind, and I forgot to do the asana that I wanted to do. But we can go ahead and still utilize a prop if you got it, if you're here for this class too. So there you are, and then a comfy seat. All right, hello, joiner. Let's see. Alrighty, cool. So as you go ahead and find yourself in a nice, comfortable seated position, and again, making sure that we maybe have a pillow with us, or a block, and if we have like a blanket for additional comfort. So what we're going to be doing today, like we did this morning and in the previous class, is today is all about core. I wanted to work with core slightly. Yes, it was a request, but also for the sake that a lot of us probably are feeling a bit stiff and everything in that sense from this time being quarantined, or just staying at home because not everybody is sick. But for those who have had to stay at home, this practice is for you. So mainly what we're going to be working with is we're going to be working with our lower core today. So working with both our core and then incorporating a lot of hips with that as well. Getting a good chest opener too, for the fact that some of us may have been spending our time in bed or on the couch and we need to open this up more. And so previously in the two classes, I taught the Kapalabhati breath, which is the fire breath. And it is a great tool to use for when we go through specific asanas for a challenge, as well as overall the Kapalabhati or the fire breath is a good breath to use to cleanse out your mental state, especially in times where you feel pretty aggressive and you just want a healthy release. It's a great way to bring that release as well. It's great for your metabolism, for weight loss if you care about that. But most importantly, not only is it a good mental cleanser, but it actually does give you a head glow as well. It's why it's called the skull shining breath. Kapala meaning skull, and then Bhati meaning shining. But because it is a fast-paced breath, if you do by chance have any heart conditions, heart issues, blood pressure, or maybe wheezing or coughing, if you may have caught the cold, then you are more than welcome to either limit the breath to 10 breaths or just remove it out of your practice. But it's there if you would like to try and explore it. Good. And so specifically, with this Kapalabhati breath, is we're going to utilize this breath so that we can energize our nervous system, if anything, so that we can get inspired and creative during this practice, concentrated, and being able to release any pumped up energy that we have from staying indoors. So as we come to a very comfortable seated position, using any props that you would like, whatever comfortable is to you, you can then go ahead and find a lift through the chest. Find a very strong tailbone and spine here. Good, yep, get it all nice and connected. And then placing your right hand onto your stomach, and then maybe taking the left hand behind your left spine and lifting up through the chest, just so that we can level out, making sure that our spine is straight. Good. And then as we find that here, we can then go ahead and take a deep inhale, allowing your Buddha belly to shine and your stomach to actually come out. And as you exhale, bring that stomach back in. Inhale, extending up through the stomach. And exhale, intensely bringing that breath in and up into your rib cage. We're working with our diaphragm here as we breathe. So inhale, release the belly. And then exhale, bring it in, a little bit of engagement. And then one more time. Wonderful. So as we start to get grounded here, right hand still in the stomach, we're now going to practice the Kapalabhati breath, or the fire breath. So again, if you have heart problems or if you're wheezing, you can limit your breath to 10 counts or just kind of chill out for a moment. But for here, what we're going to do for an example is I'm going to inhale, and when I exhale, I'm going to do exhaling in bursts of 20 breaths. And don't worry about inhaling after each exhale, because it will, when you utilize your diaphragm to complete this prana, this breath, it will automatically send the air back in. So as you take a deep inhale through the nose, exhale, releasing 20 times. Inhale. And exhale, release. Good. So it's almost like you're not so much getting like punched in the stomach, if that's a weird analogy, but you have all these energetic bursts going into your diaphragm. So you can practice it one more time. And if you think 20 is enough, feel free to do 10. And you can do it at paces like that instead if you need to go slower. So one more time, deep inhale through the nose. And then release 20 or 10 times. Inhale. Exhale, release. Good. You probably start to feel a little bit of that mental glow going on right now. I sure am. So go ahead and reap in the benefit of that breath. And this is the Kapalabhati breath, or the fire breath. Skull shining breath. Good. So then from here, you go ahead and take your arms up to the T. Inhale, rise, arms up towards the ceiling. And then palms together, exhale to the heart center. You're more than welcome at this time to set an intention for your practice. Maybe something to ignite your creativity. Maybe something to ignite your motivation. Allowing ignition to fuel your practice here today. Good. And we can go ahead, inhale, rise, palms up to the T. Inhale, arms up towards the ceiling. Exhale, release, hands to the ground. Inhale, rise, hands up towards the ceiling. Exhale, release, expanding through the arms and through the shoulders. Inhale, rise once more, arms up towards the ceiling. And then exhale, release, hands onto the knees. Sitting cat-cows. I'm going to rotate the shoulders back, lead with the confident chest, and inhale, bring the chest forward like you would in cow. And exhale, round through the shoulders like you would in cat, chin and chest. Inhale, chest forward, shoulders back. And then exhale, release, chin to chest. You go ahead and do this about 3 more times, finding your own breath, your own pace. Good. And then bringing the arms out to the T on the next inhale. And on your inhale, we're going to rise up through the chest and turn to the right side by twisting by the stomach, the rib cage, and then the chest. Placing the left hand onto the thigh and right arm behind, lifting up through the chest. Gaze over the right shoulder. Good. And we're going to inhale, take the eye gaze over the left shoulder, keeping this twist, keeping your back straight. And the back hand is only for a guide for your twist. So if you feel like you are relying on the back hand, don't engage that core and lift up through the chest to keep you active. Good. And exhale, release into the center. Palms up to the T, and then inhale, twist on over to the left side, taking the left arm behind, right arm to the left thigh or knee, and eye gaze over the left shoulder. Again, the back hand is just a guide. So engage the chest and lift up nice and tall through the chest. Good. Next breath, take the eye gaze over the right shoulder. One more breath. And then inhale, release, rise, arms up towards the ceilings. Good. And then exhale, hands to the ground. Good. We're going to go ahead and come into a tabletop position here. Good. And in this tabletop position, we are going to go ahead and inhale, rise into your cow, tailbone up, chest up. Exhale to your cat. And go ahead and do these sets of cat-cows for about 5 sets. So 5 on each side. Good. And then once you've done your 5, you can then go ahead and place your knees together here and fan out your hands coming into a supported plank style. Good. So that your hands are spread, and then you got your hips up here and the knees are together. And then as we inhale, we're going to engage through the core and bring the right hips to the right side, pressing the left hand into the ground, eye gaze over the left shoulder. Good. Inhale to cat spine into the center. And exhale to cow spine, pressing the right hand into the ground. Good. Exhale, cat spine, center. Inhale, cow spine, hips to the right side, pressing the left hand into the mat. Good. Then exhale, cat spine into the center. Then inhale, cow spine, hips to the left side. Good. You can go ahead and do this 3 more times on each side at your own breath, your own pace. So go ahead and finding that here into your practice. And then as you have done that for 3 times on each side, you can then go ahead and place your hands regularly back into that supported plank position. Good. So really lifting up through the shoulders here. We're going to curl the toes. We're going to exhale, gauge it to a active child's pose. So arms are active and forward. Tailbone is to the ground. The toes are curled so we can stretch out more through the ankle. Hey, guy. Thanks. Good. And then we're going to inhale, come back to the supported plank, cow spine think. And then exhale to that cat spine, active child's pose. Good. And do this for about 3 more times. Good. So we're finding more length into the spine as we go through the spinal extension. So supportive plank with the cow spine. And then child's pose with the cat spine. Good. And then on the next breath, as we come into a supported plank, we're going to go ahead and rise up into full plank. Bend the knees generously, come into downward facing dog. Pedal out the legs. And so as we pedal out through the down dog, go ahead and stay here for a few breaths. Just letting you know for some of those participants that are here, you're more than welcome to play your own music for copyright issues. I will not be playing any music, so it doesn't disrupt the live feed. but you are more than welcome to invite that in your own home. Good. And then from here, you can go ahead and round through the shoulders, coming into plank. Good. Engaging the core. And inhale, rise, hips up towards the sky, hollow through the spine into downward facing dog. Inhale, round through the shoulders and the spine into plank. Good. And then exhale, release into your downward facing dog. Bend the knees generously. Take your eye gaze forward, hop, step, or walk into your Uttanasana, your forward fold. Hands to the shins. Inhale, find a half lift here, big cow spine. Good. Then exhale, forward fold. Bend at the knees, palms face up. Inhale, rise into your high mountain. Good. And then exhale, release, swan dive, hip hinge, hands to the mat. Good. Either hop, step, or walk into plank. And you're more than welcome to go through a vinyasa flow. So chaturanga all the way to the ground. And as we inhale, come up into cobra, leading with the chest, shoulders away from the ears. And then exhale, release to the ground. Curl the toes. Inhale, rise, chaturanga. Exhale, downward facing dog. Go ahead, pedal out the feet. Good. And then bend the knees generously, tailbone up, eye gaze forward. Either hop, step, or walk into your Uttanasana, your forward fold. Hands to the shins. Inhale, halfway lift, tailbone back. And then exhale, forward fold. Bend the knees, palms face up, and then inhale, rise into your high mountain. Good. And then exhale, release, forward fold. Take a breath or two, hinge at the hips, engage the quads. Good. And then from here, we're going to take the left leg back into a running lunge. So we want to make sure that the back thigh is lifted and that we're not just sinking into the left hip. We're pressing our right foot into the ground, finding this buoyancy here. Right hip crease back, left hip crease forward. With the buoyancy, we want to feel nice and light so that we can easily run into a sprint. So if we feel like we're stacked in the hips, that means we need to engage more in the feet and rise up more. And finding that core engagement too. Press the right foot into the ground and inhale, rise, left leg up to meet the right. Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. And then this time, take the right leg back into that running lunge. Square the hips and keep the right thigh lifted. Good. 2 more breaths. Find that core engagement. Lift up through the chest. Then inhale, rise, right leg up towards the ceiling. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise halfway. Bend at the knees and take the hips back through the chest and inhale, rise into chair. Finding that core engagement here. The knees are back. Good. And then rise up. High mountain, back bend. Palms together. Exhale, Samasthiti. Good. Go ahead and take that breath to catch up here. And then as you find that breath, we're going to go ahead and if you have your strap, go ahead and grab your strap or your tie. I got myself a fancy tie to match all my goods over here. I like paisley, can I say? Good. So as we have our fun strap, whatever it is at your own home, you can go ahead and find the center. And we're going to pull it nice and tight so that we can open up more through the shoulders. And as we do this exercise, we want to make sure that our chest is lifted, our shoulders are engaged and into place, and just a very minimal tailbone tuck. We don't want our booty to be like really popping out. We just want it very slightly tucked so that we have more range of motion with our arms and making sure that our core is nice and engaged down here. Good. And maybe our feet together will help keep this balance. But from here, tailbone tuck, engage the core. Our torso is going to stay into place as we inhale, rise, bringing the strap up towards the ceiling. Good. So as your strap is up, we're pulling it at the same time, lifting up through the chest, engaging through the arms, a little bit of glute engagement to keep us nice and sturdy. 2 more breaths, you got this. Good. And then take 1 more inhale. And exhale, release, taking the arms back. Good. So my torso did not move. My chest is forward. I'm feeling very active into my arms. So take 3 more breaths here. Good. Then we're going to inhale, rise, arms up towards the ceiling. And then exhale, release. Good. Go ahead and shake it out, shake it out. Reconnecting with the strong strap here. Engage the torso, very minimal tailbone tuck. And then inhale, rise, arms up towards the ceiling. And then exhale, release, bring the strap behind your back. Inhale, rise, strap up towards the ceiling, and exhale in front of the torso. Do this 3 more times. So keep the core steady and engaged, and we're just moving our arms here. And that doesn't mean that when we bring the strap forward, we're going to hitch on back. And then when we bring it up, we're going to sneak on. Nope. We're going to keep it nice and strong and tight here. Nice. And then after we have done our 3 reps, we can then go ahead and release the strap in front of our stomach and go ahead and shake it out. All of us are at our different paces. Let's go ahead, shake it out, shake it out. We ain't done with the strap yet. Good. So as we're here with the strap, reconnecting with your breath, we're going to go ahead and take the strap nice and tight. Good. And stay and find that engaged core again. Tuck the tailbone, lift up here through the chest. And as we inhale, pulling the strap, we're going to twist on over to the right side while trying to keep our hips square. Good. So if our right hip followed, nope, let's take the right hip to the front of the mat here. Good job. Do 3 more breaths. Good. Inhale, rise, strap up towards the ceiling. Come into center. Exhale, release. Strap to the center. Inhale, twist on over towards the left side, pulling onto the strap. Left hip crease towards the front of the mat. 3 breaths. Good. And then inhale, rise, strap up towards the ceiling. And then exhale, release. Good. Go ahead and place the strap to the side for now. And just take your hands and clamshell them behind your shoulders. Rotate your shoulders back, straighten out through the arms. Kali Mudra. So bring in the pointed finger here, the little gun. Okay. Inhale, rise through the chest. And then exhale, release, hip hinge forward, arms towards the ceiling. Good. 2 more breaths. And then engage the core and inhale, rise through the chest and release the arms. And we're just going to take the arms, after you shake them out a little bit, we're going to go ahead and bring them forward here, create that Kali Mudra again. It's a gun. I'm Charlie and y'all are my angels up in here. Good. All right, angels. So as we have our gun over here, we're going to go ahead and find that core engagement. I'm going to take our fingers forward up here, so opening up through the shoulders, but bringing your chest forward, your shoulders away through the ears. And then from here, we're going to find a little bit of that core engagement. And inhale, come up into that chair pose. Find that core engagement and move with your core here and your feet. So inhale, rise straight, legs. Then exhale into your squat. Inhale, rise, straight legs. Exhale to your squat. And do this 5 more times. Concentrated breath here. Good. And then once you reach your last one, inhale, come to the squat with the fingers up. Kapalabhati breath here. So inhale through the nose. Exhale 20 times. Inhale, straighten your legs, release the arms. Ooh, how about that for our arm opening? Go ahead, ooh, shake out the arms, sway side to side. Good. Get your legs all nice and reset here. And then once you feel ready, you can then bring your arms up towards the ceiling. Good. Exhale into your chair pose. Hands to the ground. Go ahead and come into your plank position. And then you can go ahead and go through a vinyasa flow here. So inhale, chaturanga, either all the way to the mat or come into an upward facing dog in your chaturanga. Any back bend of your choice, coming back into your downward facing dog. Go ahead and pedal out through the feet. Good. Plant the left foot to the ground, and then inhale, rise right leg towards the ceiling. Keeping the right foot nice and flexed, pressing your hands into the ground. Engage the core, bend the right knee, and inhale, bring knee to nose. Exhale, release three-legged dog. Bend the knee, inhale, knee to nose. Exhale, three-legged dog, and go ahead and do this 3 more times. Inhaling as we rise, and then exhale as we come forward. And then once you have done that 5 times, on the 5th time, inhale, bring the right knee forward and place the feet in between the hands, coming back into that running lunge here. Good. And as we're here into this running lunge, we want to rise up through the chest, engage the core, keeping the hips nice and buoyant, and then taking the arms behind like Silver Surfer style. So as we find this core engagement, engage the core and inhale, rise, arms up towards the ceiling. And then exhale, release, arms back, Silver Surfer style. Inhale, rise, arms up towards the ceiling. And then exhale, Silver Surfer style. Engage the core, inhale, rise all the way up. And then drop the left foot at a warrior diagonal. Come into your warrior 2. Good, getting nice and strong into the hips here. As we're here into our warrior 2, keeping the front knee bent over the bottom ankle. Good. Left foot at a diagonal. Opening up through the arms, shoulders away through the ears. Getting nice and strong into this asana. Good. We're going to point both toes to the outside of the mat and come into a goddess leg. So we're here to goddess leg. We want to keep our spine straight. So the front of the core, back of the spine, and then coming into a buoyant area into your hips in the squat. So it doesn't feel like you're tensing up into your hips, that we feel supported and strong. Good. And then taking our arms up into the goddess arms. Engage the core, inhale, rise, 5-pointed star. Exhale, goddess squat. Inhale, rise, 5-pointed star. Exhale, goddess squat. Inhale, rise, 5-pointed star. Exhale, goddess squat. Hands onto the knees, lift up through the chest. Inhale, bring the right shoulder down, eye gaze over the left. 2 breaths. Inhale to the center. And then exhale, release, left shoulder down, eye gaze over the right shoulder. 2 more breaths. Good. And then coming back into the center, engage the core, arms forward, and inhale, goddess leg, chair pose. Go ahead and hold this breath here, or not hold the breath, but hold the core. Kapalabhati breath. Inhale through the nose. Exhale 20 times. Inhale. Rise, 5-pointed star. Then exhale, shake out your hips. Whew, release all that tension. Shake it out, shake it out. Good. And then we're going to go ahead and point our left toes to the front of the mat, bringing our right foot at the warrior diagonal, coming into warrior 2. So we're nice and strong here into the warrior 2. Staying here for a couple breaths, keeping the chest open, shoulders away from the ears, nice and strong. Front knee is bent. You can then lift up the back ankle and come into a high lunge. Good. And then exhale, bringing the arms back, chest is forward, Silver Surfer style. And 3 times, engage the core, inhale, rise, arms up. And exhale, release. Inhale, rise. Exhale, release. Inhale, rise. Exhale, release. Inhale, rise. And from here, we're going to press the left foot into the ground and inhale, rise, right knee up. and then release. Good. So shake out your hips if you need to from here. Good. Standing at the top of our mat. Good. We're going to inhale, rise, arms up towards the ceiling. And then we're going to exhale, hip hinge, hands to the mat. And as our hands are to the mat, we're going to place our right foot into the ground, and we're going to flex to the left foot. Good. Very slight bend to the right leg. We're going to come into a supported warrior three. So hands are going to be onto the mat. Press the right foot into the ground and inhale, rise to the left foot, flexing the leg towards the back of the room. If you wanted to add the challenge and bring it into a full warrior three, you could place your hands into the heart center, arms forward or arms back. But from here, support it because we will go to the full one in a bit. Good. And then place the left foot onto the ground. Shake out the hips. Plant your left foot into the ground. Flex to the right foot. Find that buoyancy. And once you find that buoyancy, you can inhale, rise, right leg towards the back of the room. Just as forward. Find that core engagement here, that buoyancy through the hips. Good. Then exhale, release, feet to the ground. Go ahead, shake out the hips. Bend at the knees, pedal them out if you need to. Maybe rock out the spine here. Good. And then our hands can be onto the shins. Inhale, halfway lift. Good. Exhale, forward fold. We're going to go ahead and inhale, rise into the high mountain. A little bit of a back bend. And then palms together, exhale, coming into chair. As we're here into the chair, we're going to inhale, twist our right elbow to the left thigh. Pressing the palms together, taking your eye gaze over the left shoulder. And you're more than welcome to keep your palms together or open up through your arms, deepening your twist. 3 breaths. Find that core engagement. And palms together, inhale to the center. And then exhale, twist over to the opposite side. And then either keeping your palms together or opening up to the arms. Good, one more breath. And you can meet your palms back together and inhale to the heart center as we fully rise all the way up. Coming into high mountain, we're going to exhale, come back into your chair pose. And then placing your hands onto the mat. Good. As we find ourselves onto the mat here, we're going to go ahead, halfway lift through the spine. Good. Then exhale, forward fold. And we're going to go ahead and take the right leg back, coming back into that running lunge. So we come up to the running lunge. We're going to engage the core, arms are back, silver surfer style. We're going to plant the left foot into the ground. We're going to inhale, engage the core, rise, arms up towards the ceiling. And then planting the left foot, going into a full warrior three. We're going to inhale either arms forward or arms back, silver surfer style. Take the back foot up about 2-3 inches, or forward, I should say. And we're going to lean in, hip hinge, straightening out our left foot and our left leg, engaging at the quad. And until you start to feel that your right leg feels buoyant, where it's like, okay, I can move up from here, you can then go ahead and extend your right leg, extending it back, really utilizing your tripod of your feet, big toe, pinky toe, and heel. Good. We're going to find that core engagement here. And then inhale, rise, bringing the right knee up towards your chest. And then taking the right leg over the left. Coming into eagle pose. So we're going to take our arms out to the T. And inhale, take the right arm underneath the left, either palms together, back to the hands, or onto the shoulders. As long as we're squeezing through the elbows, squeezing through the hips. We're going to go ahead and wrap the right leg either around the left foot or keeping the toes onto the ground, but coming into your eagle squat, squeezing at the elbows, having the elbows aligned in front of your mouth here. Good. Keeping the back as straight as you can, coming into that squat. Call out your breath. Take a deep inhale and 20 times. Inhale. Keeping the eagle arms, we're going to exhale, release the right leg. And inhale, come to eagle arm, warrior 3. So core engagement, hugging at the hands, at the elbows. Good. And then inhale, rise, right knee back up towards your chest. And then release the leg. And release the arm. Woo. It's a good workout. Go ahead and loosen up through the shoulders, loosen up through the hips. We're going to do the same thing, but we're going to do it onto the opposite side this time. So through that opposite side, we can go ahead and come into a Uttanasana, forward fold. We're going to take the left leg back this time, coming into that running lunge. And we're going to take the arms back, silver surfer style. We're going to engage the core and inhale, rise with our arms towards the ceiling. Good. And with the back leg, we're going to go ahead and take it up about 3 inches. And planting our right foot, we want to find that buoyancy here. So either keeping the arms full or keeping it into prayer hands might be easier. Coming into warrior 3. Flexing through the left foot, straightening out the leg. Either arms are to the sides or maybe they're forward as well. Whatever works best in your warrior 3. Okay, 3 more breaths. We're going to engage through the core. Palms are together and inhale, rise. Bringing the left knee up towards your chest and bringing the left leg over into your eagle position. And again, since the left leg is on top, we're going to go ahead and take the left arm underneath, pressing the palms together or back hand on the shoulders, whatever is the best for you. And we're going to go ahead and wrap fully our leg either behind our right leg or maybe keep the toes onto the ground. Once you feel secure in your eagle pose, you can then start to find that squat here and lift up through the chest. You're more than welcome to lift your toes off, back behind again. Whatever it is that's comfortable for you, we're going to ignite that skull shining breath. So inhale through the nose. Exhale 20 times. Inhale. Exhale, release. Keeping the eagle arms, we're going to go ahead and inhale, unravel through their legs, and go straight into your warrior 3 eagle arms. Hinging at the hips, keeping that core engaged and puffing up through the shoulders, flexing through the back foot. 3 more breaths of exploration. Good. And then inhale, bend the knee back up towards your chest. And then exhale, release. Whew. Go ahead, release the arms, shake it out. Good. Go ahead, shake everything out. Shake out through the hips. Good job. So that was a variation of our peak pose, and our sequence today is working with the eagle pose. All right, let's see if we can start to make our way to the ground, getting a little bit more into the core here. So, excuse me, make sure that you have a block or a pillow handy, or a book, something a little more sturdy, because we're going to use it to get into crow pose today. So as you're at the top of your mat, either with a pillow or a block nearby, we're going to bring our arms up towards the ceiling, palms together. We're going to spread our feet hip length apart. We're going to come into a malasana pose, so a yoga squat. Palms are together, lifting up through the chest, and then exhale, bend into your yogi squat, placing your elbows to the inside of the knees. At the same time, you're pressing your elbows away from you. You're going to want to press your knees inward and straighten out through the spine. Lifting up through the chest. Good. Take 3 more here. Good. And then we're going to exhale, release. Hands to the ground. So for some of us that have experienced a crow pose before and know that they might need some assistance with a block, Or if you haven't tried it before, you could take a block or like a sturdy book, something that's nice and sturdy and real thick, and place it behind your feet. As you place it behind your feet, this is the preparation for Malasana that we want to get into crow pose, is having your hands down and going into an arm and core balancing pose, crow. So what you can do is take the block to where your feet are and place your feet onto the block or onto the book. Good. Or maybe a very thick pillow. So as you have yourself here, you're going to take your arms just a little bit so that you can already find a lift in through the booty and in through the core. And you're going to want to either place your knees onto the outside of your triceps or right behind them, which for a lot of us, right behind our arm might be uncomfortable. So you can try onto the outside of your triceps as well. So finding that lift through the hips, finding that placement for your knees, and instead of going both legs up at the same time, you can experiment with one foot at a time off the block, finding that center of your core and lifting up through the tailbone. Good. And then if you feel comfortable or confident, you can lift both toes off of the ground, pressing your hands flat into the mat, lifting up through the shoulders and the hips, keeping that core engaged, making sure that we're not holding our breath. Wherever you're at, find 3 more breaths of exploration. You might be coming in and coming out, maybe 1 foot at a time. So go ahead and explore that for yourself here. I'm sure y'all did a good job because crowing ain't easy. If you would like to bring a little bit of a spice into your challenge, into your crow, since this is technically a level 2 class, you can try to incorporate a twist into your crow. How do you do that? Well, one of the simplest ways that I have been able to get into it was utilizing that block. Good. And taking our hands, aligning, so we're gonna twist onto the right side, aligning the right hand with the left knee and the left hand to the ground, and then placing your feet onto that block. Good. And then hugging your knees to the outside of the tricep, lifting up through the hips. Good. You can press your feet on or hands into the ground here. Find that same lift like you would in crow. Engage through the core, and then inhale 1 foot at a time off the block. Or maybe just having 1 foot lifted. Good. And you're more than welcome to explore that onto the opposite side too. And this is a pretty difficult asana, so don't feel defeated if you can't get yourself fully off the ground or just have one leg up at a time. This is where it requires a lot of work into the arms, into the serratus anterior, and also finding more room into your spine and your core. So if you are done exploring on the right side, you can come into the left side, having the block, having the block onto the left side, aligning your left foot to the right hand or to the outside of the right hand and placing your feet onto the block. Good. And then having the straight arms or maybe coming into a bend and aligning your thighs or your knees onto the upper arms. And you can either do one leg at a time or you can lift up with both. Or just even stay here on the block too so that you can get the experience of the hip lifting and building up arm strength. Good. And if you're done exploring with that, you can go ahead and release yourself off of the block. Go ahead and do some wrist therapies because, like I said, this is a difficult pose. Whew. So that was just if you wanted to add some more spice into your crow. Other than that, you can really find yourself into the center of your mat. You're going to kind of do some little wrist therapies here, maybe some sitting cat-cows. Good. And making sure that you do have that pillow nearby or a block. Good. And so from here, we're going to come into our Navasana, our boat pose. And with our boat pose, we're going to have our hands onto this pillow or block, We're going to rotate the shoulders back and inhale, rise, almost like Simba style, like the Lion King. And we're going to engage through the core and lean back a little bit here and lift up through the shins, maybe parallel here, block up towards the ceiling. Good. So we're going to have it extended forward here. And then inhale, bring the block to the ceiling and then straighten your legs to the front of the mat. Heels are lifted, lift up through the chest. Good. Exhale, bend into the center. Arms are parallel or diagonal, I should say. Inhale, straighten out through the arms and through the legs. Good. Almost like we're in staff pose with our arms towards the ceiling. So inhale, extend through the legs. Heels are lifted, arms are up. And then exhale, back into boat pose prep. And do this 2 more times. Really engaging the lower core and using the breath for your movement. Then you can go ahead and release the feet. Place the block or pillow to the side for now, and windshield wipe your feet. Good. So you find this windshield wipe for our feet. We can go ahead and find ourselves onto our spine here. It kind of stretch out through the spine. We're gonna, oh, nobody. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna take our hands to the side of our hips. We're gonna rotate our shoulders back. As we have our shoulders rotated back, bringing our heels close to our glutes into bridge pose. And then inhale, rise, hips up towards the ceiling. You can even clamshell your hands underneath your buttocks here and bring your hips up towards the ceiling using your forearms to create that lift, as well as your core. Good. Deep inhale through the nose. Exhale, release. Go ahead and hug your knees in, rock side to side. Nobody. No. Nope, chill out. You're going to catch yourself on fire. Good. Then we're going to go ahead and stretch your toes to the front of the mat. And then inhale, rise, arms above overhead. Take one long body stretch here. And then exhale, release. Good. We're going to find our feet back onto the mat. Good. And from here, we're going to place our hands onto the sides of the mat. We're going to kind of grab onto the mat here, rotating our shoulders underneath our spine. And our lower spine is going to be connected to the mat here too. So if you have a bony sacrum, you can place a blanket underneath for some support. But from here, we're going to bring our shins parallel, our knees above our hips. Good. And we're going to inhale, straighten the left leg towards the front of the room, having the heel hover, and straighten the right leg towards the ceiling. Good. Utilizing that core. 3 more breaths. Good. Keep the spine to the ground, and then exhale, release. Right knee first into the chest, and then left knee to follow. Inhale, straighten out through the right leg, and then once you're ready, the left leg up towards the ceiling. Keeping the toes pointed, nice and active. Find that core engagement here. Don't hold your breath. 3 more breaths. Good. Then exhale, release. Both knees into the center. Go ahead and hug it out, rock side to side. Good. And then from here, we're grabbing onto the mat. Good. And then keeping the left shin parallel, we're going to inhale, straighten the right leg up towards the ceiling, and then bring your right foot flex towards the front of the mat, hovering. Inhale, bend the knee into the chest, and inhale, right, straighten the left leg towards the ceiling. Exhale, bring it down, hovering to the mat. Inhale, bring the right knee up to the ceiling. Good. And then exhale, bring it back to the ground. Swim the knee back in, and then 2 more times. Inhale, right foot to the ceiling. Exhale, release towards the ground. Inhaling into the center, rising up. Exhale, heel towards the ground, and then inhale, hug both knees in. Good. So working on that lower core and hips for cooling down. And then this time, keeping the right foot flexed, shin parallel. We're going to inhale, straighten the left leg up towards the ceiling. Exhale, hovering it down towards the mat. Inhale, swim the knee in, up towards the ceiling. And then exhale, swim it out. Bring it in. Inhale, rise. Flexed towards the ground. And go ahead and do this 5 more times. You're going to find your own breath, your own pace. Good. And then once you have reached your last one, you can go ahead and hug both knees in and start to rock side to side here. Good. I'm going to go ahead, hands back under gripping the mat, the shoulder blades underneath the spine. Good. Lower spine onto the mat. We're going to inhale, place the feet together, and rise into an inverted staff pose. Heels towards the ceiling, toes pointed towards your face. Engage the lower core and inhale, bring the heels hovering towards the ground. Exhale, release, legs up. This is easier. You could place a block or a pillow in between your knees so that you can stay more concentrated. Good. Just making sure that we keep the lower spine to the mat. And if you feel like your spine wants to rise, you can just root through the core or pressing your hands into the mat. 2 more. Good. And then exhale, release. Knees into your chest. Go ahead, hug it out, rock side to side. Good. And then bringing your arms out to the T. Go ahead and recreate those eagle legs by wrapping the right leg on top of the left. And as you do that, you can go ahead and shift your hips over towards the right side and then drop your knees to the left. Eye gaze over the right shoulder, keeping the shoulders rooted up to the mat. Come on, buddy. Out. Out. And then as you find yourself here, you go ahead and take the Kapalabhati body, the Kapalabhati breath. Inhale through the nose, and then exhale, release 20 times. Inhaling, lifting up through the knees, and then exhale, release. Square through the hips, unravel the legs, windshield wipe side to side. And then you go ahead and eagle legs with the left leg on top. Good. Bringing the hips towards the left side and dropping the knees over towards the right side. Eye gaze over the left shoulder. Both shoulders are rooted to the ground. If you also need to prop yourself up, you can always take a block or pillow underneath the knees. And we're going to go ahead and find that 20 breaths of Kapalabhati. So deep inhale through the nose and release 20 times. Deep inhale, release the legs, and exhale, release the breath. Good. Finding yourself back into the center, go ahead and windshield wipe through the legs. We should be coming to the end of class here. So as we come to the end of class, you can go ahead and hug your knees in and bring your hands to happy baby pose, opening up through the hips. You can choose to have happy baby pose as your last asana, or if you would like, you can incorporate any last stretches of your own choice, whether it be more hip opener, whether it be arm opening, any organic movement here for the next 6 breaths. Kneading your knees back into the center. Inhale, rising. Bring your arms above overhead and pointing your toes to the front of the mat. Good. Taking a deep, long body stretch. Inhale through the nose. And exhale, release through the mouth. And you can place your hands wherever is comfortable for your Shavasana. Finding any comfortable position here. Just doing a quick body scan. Examining what feels worked. What feels longer. What feels stronger. Eyes are closed. Maybe focusing on that shining skull. And then as you are lying in Shavasana, I wanted to read a little poem that I read in the previous class. It's a poem about fire from The Painted Oxen by Thomas Lloyd Quarles. That fire is the voice of God speaking in tongues, and that fire is the liberator of water, slipping the earthly bonds. Fire is the memory of stone being released into the heavens. That fire is the mother of the earth, born of desire. That fire is the seducer of wind, dancing in abandon for the beloved. That fire is the illuminator, the protector, and the destroyer, the giver of all life. So then as we begin to start to find these micro movements from our toes and our ankles, our fingers and our wrists, just allowing the energy that we gain from today's practice give us a new sense of awakening. Allowing ourselves to feel liberated and spirited and full of energy here. Taking a deep breath, inhale, bringing your arms above your head and your knees into your chest. And letting it out with the cleansing sound. You're more than welcome to place your knees either to the left or the right side and coming into a comfortable seated position. Having our palms to meet in the Anjali Mudra, the palm center, as we give gratitude to ourselves for making it onto the mat today, as well as extending this gratitude out to these resources that we have, like our social media and our YouTube and our live streaming, just so that we are able to receive this help today. As well as a special thanks for the Adventure Rock staff as a whole for creating all of these classes and creating this special time during this special time so that we each can fulfill our motivation, fulfill our desires, and making sure that we continue to maintain this health and maintain this positivity. And allowing yourselves to share it with your neighbors, with anybody else that needs this too. Thanks for coming tonight. In peace and namaste. Well, there was practice. You can tell me how you liked it. And then thanks for sticking out with me at the end. I got all zened out from hanging out with y'all pretty much all day today. I will be returning for some live classes on Thursday, again for 7 a.m., for 6 p.m., and 7 p.m. if if you have any requests on what you would like to see, you can go ahead and either comment here in the Facebook or not Facebook, in the YouTube message. You can also message me here on my Climbing Santosha Instagram page, or just give me a holler on anywhere else. Um, let's see. Oh, you're welcome, Celeste. Yeah, it was a little difficult. We needed to add a little bit of a challenge for today's class. All right. Well, go ahead and I'll see you later. Mm.